Hi everyone, my name is Allison Perry and this is my animation project presentation. And so for the project overview, this project that our team created was to be presented how a student feels going into a classroom at the beginning of a new semester. The animation is presented by a student walking into a modern day classroom, being excited and ready to learn. We came up with this project idea trying not to only be relatable to us as college students, but also to show our creativity and how we would create a classroom setting. So each team member thought about each item that they kind of wanted to add inside of the classroom to make it more realistic and give it that visual appeal. So different examples of that we use inside of our classroom animation were the table, chairs, books, projector, and all sorts of things like that. So the members within our group was our team leader, Amia, me as the co-leader, and then we have our three members, Justin, Cameron, and Zamira. So we have our wireframe sketches that we created. So the first one at the top left here, we have students looking inside of the classroom, kind of trying to figure out what's going to be inside of the classroom and who's going to be in there. And for our second wireframe, we have the students talking outside of the classroom, kind of excited to get inside and they're ready to learn. And then our third sketch, we have the students sitting down inside of the classroom and learning from their professor. And the fourth scene, we have the students kind of being confused, not really sure what to expect, and they don't really know what's going on. And then our fifth sketch that we did was the students kind of talking amongst themselves outside of the classroom in a different setting, kind of trying to figure out what they're going to do with this new class they have this semester. And so now I'm going to go over the different models that I created within the animation. The first model that I created was a desk in Maya. The desk is used to hold items such as books and pencils and things of that nature. And this desk will be used by students inside the classroom animation. Students will sit and write at each table to complete their classwork as well. And the steps I did to create the desk was I went to create a polygon primitive, and then I went to cube. And then the second step to make the legs, I went to create cube, and then I duplicated that 4 times, and then I positioned them under each angle within the desktop. So I did that 4 times. And then to add color, I did Lambert, attribute editor, color, and then I applied that to each individual item within the desk. So I did that 5 times. And so for the second model, I created a book in Maya and I created that a few different times for all of the books within the desks. So the books are located on each desk in front of each chair for students to use within the animation. So the steps that I used to create that was first, I started by making the book cover by going to create, polygon primitive, cube, duplicate, position, and then I positioned them side by side. So it would kind of have that illusion of a book cover being, having two sides. And then the second step that I did was to create the plane, which is the pages of the book. I did cube and then I made them really thin. So once again, it would have that illusion of paper within a book. And then I duplicated that about 2 or 3 times to create different pages. And then I stacked that on top of one another. And then I rotated the pages. So once again, it would have that illusion of pages turning within a book. And then the third step, I added color by going to color, Lambert, attribute editor, and then color, and then I apply that to the book cover to make it blue, and then to the pages to make it a kind of off-white color to make it more realistic. And then here's the full classroom model. I have 3 pictures here. So to the left here, on the far left, I have the untexturized version of our classroom model setting, outside and inside. And then in the second picture, we have a more closer up visual of what's inside of the classroom. We have a few textures here and there, but not fully. And then for our third picture here on the far right, we have the fully texturized version of our classroom model setting. And then here is our classroom animation. Going inside of the classroom, we have our books, desks, tables, chairs, things of that nature. And then we have small details such as lamps, bookshelves. We have a lighting at the top as well. And then we also have textures on the walls, TVs. Yeah. And here we have a human who is walking inside of the classroom. And there you can see different lighting and then our TVs that we have and then different exits within our classroom animation. And then we have our moving chairs, pencils, and things of that nature. And here's the ending credits. And yeah, and thank you.